What up, everybody? Welcome to Dictate the Day. I'm Dick. Join me as we take our day. A little bit of music. Let's step into the vibe, shall we? Okay, enough. My bad. I like to do a little, find the vibe, whatnot. So it's Friday, everybody. It's the 10th. The 10th month, the 10th day, 2025. Real thankful to be alive. And I hope this Friday is amazing for you. I don't want to chit-chat too much because I have curated some stuff for sure. They're gonna, I don't know if shadow banned is the right word, but I feel like they will, Oh yeah, that brings me to my next subject. This is strictly entertainment. As you know, that's what I do here. I like to share my love, spread my knowledge, give you a little entertainment, maybe assist you through your day, give you something to think about. Maybe something to research. Maybe I trigger some type of thought process and you're like, I gotta know more about that. That's all I'm doing here. All right? All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. I can't remember. I think I have over a dozen of these, so we're gonna try to breeze on through. It's Friday, and I want you to get your day underway. And maybe you're watching this at the end of the day and you can celebrate with a little entertainment. Am I ever gonna shut up? Sorry, I got my Neuro Mints in. Feeling fired up on a Friday. Okay, with that being said, let's check out the Maverick Approach. They are one of my favorite TikTok channels. Let's go.
Why was it in the LA Times in the 20s and 30s and 40s saying there's catacombs all through LA? You can look this up. This is in the LA Times. Talking about there's a whole civilization of people down there.
What?
Not only a civilization, but then they're talking about there's like non-human people as well, reptilians, and all this is in the newspaper.
This is in the newspaper?
This is in the newspaper in LA Times, where they're saying there's catacombs that they use in LA. And here's another thing too. Here's what's weird. Going back to Diddy real quick. Like, they're saying like he had tunnels and all this other stuff, right?
Right.
Now, in Humbly Hills, that's a very prominent, area, right? Now, he was about maybe not even half a mile from the Playboy Mansion. Playboy Mansion had tunnels. That's confirmed too.
Yeah.
And they said they use it for celebrities to get in and out from the mansion and whatnot to, for security reasons.
Right.
Okay. But why does it go to other celebrities' homes? Warren Beatty and all these other
Yeah, I
people.
heard that.
It went through the whole neighborhood. So if you say that, tunnels don't exist, the celebrities have them, it's in the newspaper, they don't exist? I'm just saying. So I think not only that, but I mean, even in Vegas, like Vegas has a whole underground civilization as well. The homeless live down there. Why?
Yeah. I've actually heard of this before. These things. This old LA Times article. I think maybe even I've showed a clip before. And I recently watched a documentary about the stuff going on underneath Vegas. Bro, it's kind of scary. Scary. But I have a fond memory. I can't remember if I was looking through a Playboy magazine as a child. That's how we would sneak and, whatnot. Or maybe it was just a magazine talking about the tunnels. But there was diagrams showing, fond memory of mine, wonder why, of seeing all these secret tunnels and entrances there in the mansion of Hugh Hefner. And there's like secret ways to even move around the house. Like you can appear in a room and then disappear and then go to this place called the Grotto. It was like an underground pool or something. Yeah. 100% true. Still, though, entertainment. Okay? All right. Let's go.
Baseball itself, the origins might be demonic.
This is nuts.
What? Throwing and hitting a bat?
Everything about baseball is very related to the Freemasons. The diamond they play on is in what shape? It's in the same shape of the compass in the Freemason logo. Now back this. What is the degree of that angle in that diamond?
What is it? Like
33 degrees. Why? Because 33 is the highest level you can go in Freemasonry.
No.
Remember?
Yeah.
The MLB baseball bats, they're 33
What the
inches in length
fuck?
and 33 ounces in weight.
That ass?
Yes, fam. Also, the threads on the baseball itself, there's 33
Like
on
going around.
each line.
What?
Theory was they made it as homage to the Freemasons or whatever ritualistic things they want to get into. What's being talked about right now is how every sport references what god or what deity.
What?
Remember we were talking about the cow head is named ball. Baseball. Dude, think about it, man. Baseball, basketball, man.
Oh,
yeah,
fam.
it might actually be something more than we think.
Demonic.
Baseball itself, the origins might be demonic.
I got to be 100% honest. I don't. Some of that, of course, the diamond shape, the compass, whatnot, definitely. I don't know if that's 100% the case. And I don't know enough about other sports. I'm one of those dudes. I'm one of those manly men that doesn't really care about organized sport. I mean, unless it's a fight, MMA, boxing, stuff like that. That's just my jam. That's what I've been into my entire, I love. Speaking of which, I got to say this real fast. I have not seen the new movie, The Smashing Machine, the Mark Kerr, where Dwayne The Rock Johnson plays him. I've heard nothing but good things. I do follow Sugar Sean's coach. I follow the Suge too, but there's just something about Tim Welch. I love this guy. And he has a podcast, and his most recent one on YouTube that he did with Mark Kerr is one of the most powerful. Man, if you've ever suffered from addiction and you love MMA, because for some reason, people who take high risk usually, not usually, but a lot of times have addictive personalities and whatnot. I'm one. Here I am. I admit, nothing to hide. But it's so good. Watch it. Shout out Tim Welch. Timbo, let's go. And then the clip we just showed, that's the Jumpers Jump. They have YouTube, TikTok, they're everywhere. I don't show a lot of clips from them because they're a little, Good stuff, though. Terribly entertaining. Love them. I'm not going to talk any smack. I just get this. I don't know. Let's go. Why am I still talking?
So I got a rabbit hole for you.
Check it.
What if all these troops placed around these big cities have nothing to do with immigration at all? What if it has nothing to do with crime at all? What if it all is just strategy? It has everything to do with 3-Eye Atlas. Could 3-Eye Atlas be Nibiru? Could the Secretary of War invited all those generals just to call them fat? Or was it for something else? I mean, you think he could have just sent that in an email, right? What if they know something that we don't? Now, I could be just full of shit, watching too many motherfucking YouTube videos. Or I could be onto something. I mean, hopefully I'm just full of shit. Because if you don't know what Nibiru is, that's the end of times. There is no fighting that. I would just like a 4 to 5 days notice so I can hug my kids and fuck my brains out. So I got a rabbit hole for you.
I thought about this too, and I think I mentioned it because he's not the only one with this theory. He's the first one that I've heard throw Nibiru in there. If you don't know about Wormwood and Nibiru and the Red Planet, the Anunnaki and whatnot, I have covered it. Check out my past videos, please. But yeah, because, they're doing all this ICE stuff, but there's National Guard and there's more military style police and actions going on in all the cities, so they're already kind of staged. And I just did a video about 3-Eye Atlas. That's all I talked about on Wednesday. Check that one out. I've only got about 30 or 40 views, but whatever. Thank you for checking it out, whoever you are. And I got another subscriber. Let's go. But yeah, it kind of, because we're not always being told the truth about. Okay, rarely are we, So I have questions about the 3-Eye Atlas thing. I have questions about what's going on with our fearless leaders and whatnot. And sometimes this stuff lines up. Entertainment only. Entertainment. Okay, let's go. Like that guy.
Chan Thomas begins his book.
Sorry for sniffing so loud. I talk about this all the time. For some reason, it falls on a Friday, always a Friday. I don't know what that's about. But this is AJ Gentile, one of my favorite human beings, one of my favorite, sources of information, the Y-Files. So good. This is just a clip from one of his older episodes. And it's concerning Chan Thomas, what he just said, the Adam and Eve thing, the CIA document that I've done whole, symposiums on. I don't know if that's the right word, but I do like saying that. But I like to show a clip. And this one's kind of cool because what they've done is some of the stuff that was not redacted from this document, they've used AI to kind of give you a visual of what potentially could happen or what Dr. Chan Thomas was predicting, and why would the CIA trying to hide it from us? Entertainment only. This is about 4 minutes long, but it's worth it. Stick in there, y'all. Stick in there. Let's go.
With a chapter that describes exactly what we'll experience during this pole shift event. But before we get into it, now might be a good time to hit pause and grab fresh underwear.
I've learned to listen to him when he says that.
With a rumble so low as to be inaudible, then fueling into a thundering roar, the earthquake starts. Only it's not like any earthquake in history. In California, mountains shake like ferns in a breeze. A mighty Pacific rears back and piles up into a mountain of seawater more than 2 miles high, then starts its race eastward. The wind attacks, shredding everything in supersonic bombardment. The mountain of Pacific seawater follows the wind eastward, burying Los Angeles and San Francisco as if they were but grains of sand. Across the continent, the 1,000-mile-per-hour wind wreaks unholy vengeance everywhere, mercilessly.
Now here's why there's such violent wind. The Earth spins about 1,000 miles per hour. We don't feel this because everything is spinning together. The land, the water, the atmosphere. Now Thomas says that when the pole shift happens, the Earth's air and water continue to spin, but the land masses stop.
In many places, the Earth's molten sublayer breaks through and spreads a sea of white-hot liquid fire. In a fraction of a day, all vestiges of civilization are gone, and the great cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, New York, Boston, are nothing but legends. Barely a stone is left where millions walked just a few hours ago.
Now think of what would happen if you were in a car going 1,000 miles per hour that suddenly stopped. Now think of what would happen if a large city going 1,000 miles per hour suddenly stopped. Skyscrapers would collapse. Millions of people would be thrown around like they were in a food processor. Very few people would survive that, but survivors are the unlucky ones, because moving across the country at the speed of sound is a 2-mile-high wall of water, mud, and debris.
South America finds the Andes not high enough to stop the violence. In less than a day, the entire continent is burned by molten earth fire, buried under miles of violent seas, then turned into a frozen hell. Everything freezes: man, beast, plant, and mud in less than 4 hours.
When the shift happens, the land on Earth stops moving, so the sun stops moving in the sky. That means one side of the Earth is going to get really hot, and the other side really cold. A temperature drop of 180 degrees. That means even the warmest parts of the planet are going to be 80 degrees below zero. Everything is frozen solid within 4 hours.
Europe cannot escape. The Alps, Pyrenees, Urals are sunken, then heaved even higher when the wall of seawater strikes. Western Africa and the sands of the Sahara vanish. The fury marches on for 6 days. During the 6th day, the ocean starts to settle. The Bay of Bengal Basin just east of India is now at the North Pole. The Pacific Ocean just west of Peru is at the South Pole. New ice caps begin to form in the new polar areas. Greenland and Antarctica, now rotating equatorially, emerge with verdant tropical foliage.
Thomas is predicting a 90-degree shift of the Earth's axis, basically turning the planet on its side. The poles move to the equator, and the equator moves to the poles.
New York lies at the bottom of the Atlantic, covered by unbelievable amounts of mud. Of San Francisco, Los Angeles, Chicago, Dallas, and Boston, not a trace is left. The cataclysm has done its work and drives the pitiful few who survive into a new Stone Age. We join Noah, Adam and Eve, Atlantis, Mu and Olympus. And Jesus joins Osiris, Tahora, Zeus, and Vishnu.
In the first chapter of his book, Dr. Thomas paints a terrifying future. But how likely is it? In the next few chapters, Thomas goes on to not only prove his pole shift is possible, that it's happened before and will happen again very soon. In fact, there are signs that it may have already begun. Chan Thomas...
If you're one of my regular viewers, you already know. There's just something about this theory that makes sense to me. Entertainment. Yeah, it's a deep rabbit hole you can go down. But what's cool is there is a lot of resources for information. Suspicious Observer, great YouTube channel to check out. Ben Davidson, great scientist to check out. Randall Carlson. Man, I can't remember his name right now. He does the Ancient Apocalypse on Netflix. You know what I'm talking about. Put it in the comments. While you're at it, maybe a like, maybe a dislike, just engage with Mr. Dick. Man, a subscribe would be powerful. Okay, let's keep going.
Mark my words, this guy right here that you're looking at right now is going to be the next Nikola Tesla as far as...
Okay, I got to stop it. And I'm just going to say, because I know this happens all the time, this Julian Brown kid, we got to protect him, because anytime people do this, come up with cars that run on water or air, or, they basically disrupt the power construct with all of our resources here, something happens to them. Protect this kid. I mean, he's a young man, but I'm old, so I'm going to call him a kid. Here we go.
I'm concerned. Meet Julian Alexander Brown, a 22-year-old Atlanta-based inventor, social media influencer, and entrepreneur known for his work in sustainable energy. And recently, he just created fuel that powered a 2023 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack entirely with his own fuel source that he made himself at his home. Now, this guy built a massive online audience by sharing his science experiments and environmental advocacy, and he gained viral fame in 2025 for developing a prototype machine that converts plastic waste into fuel, which he calls plastiline. Now, while he may not have invented the process of pyrolysis because it was invented back in the 1970s in Japan and was used commercially to produce plastic to fuel conversion for decades, he's the first person to make it in his own space by himself without any help or anything like that at all. He used donated solar panels and created a microwave pyrolysis reactor, which is a compact continuous flow system that uses microwave energy heated by solar panels to break down unsorted plastic waste into high-octane fuel. Now, this avoids the fossil fuel emissions typically required in traditional pyrolysis setups, making it more eco-friendly and scalable for home or community use. Now, the process is super crazy and hard for me to explain because I don't understand it, so I would look it up online and check it out. But the craziest update came from a few days ago on October 4th, 2025 at a Nissan dealership in Duluth, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta, and he demonstrated live that his fuel works. This live demonstration was attended by 1,000 people, including locals, influencers, and media, and he filled the tank up of a 2023 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack. After demonstrating that it was empty, it had an empty tank. They tried to start it first to show, nope, there's no fuel in this thing, and then he dumped a big jug of his own fuel that he had manufactured at his home or at his lab, and the entire event was captured on video. After he dumped his fuel into the car, they were able to start this thing, prime the engine, and started it right up real quick. Now, he had announced this test a week prior on Instagram to build the hype with teasers of the reactor in action, following similar demos like powering lawnmowers and ATVs and things like that. Now, this video exploded all over the place within hours because there was a bunch of celebrities sharing it. It's a pretty big deal. This dude literally made fuel at his house. This is proof right here that one person's garage tinkering can challenge big oil. Now, if plastiline could be scaled, it could completely revolutionize waste management for America and the entire world as far as I'm concerned. So protect this guy at all costs.
For real.
Mark my word.
Okay, yeah, amazing. Yes, protect that kid. And I was just thinking, if there was some way that we could choose where a percentage of our tax dollars went, when we do our taxes end of the year, quarterly, whoever you are, if you're yes, you get to, decide where 10% of your tax dollars go, that's where my stuff is going. Okay? It gets rid of plastic. It's not so bad for the environment. Man. Shout out Keegan Dunlap. That's his TikTok. Shout out this dude, Julian Brown. Let's go. This is what we should be championing. Here we go.
Do you remember an Area 51 call that someone called to a radio show?
I think I know what you're going to talk about. I think I've seen this.
I remember when I first watched it, I was scared for.
Just to throw this out, sorry to interrupt. This is from Coast to Coast, the Art Bell Show. If you're my age, you already know. But for those that don't, it was this cool radio show. For me, it would come on at nighttime, and I would listen to it on my way home from work. And sometimes I'd just sit in the car before I go in the house because they were so captivating. And he would let anyone call in and talk about whatever. Like there was people claiming to be vampires and taken by aliens and all kinds of stuff. But this one is kind of famous. And listen what he talks about. It kind of coincides with that video I just showed about, the pole shift and stuff. Kinda. Am I reaching? I don't know. Put it in the comments. Entertainment. Let's go.
Wow.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago. So give us something quick. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact.
Sorry. This is from 1990-ish, and this dude is talking about the interdimensional beings, which is now all we hear about as far as the UAPs and all that kind of stuff. It's got some validity. Entertainment.
With. They are not what they claim to be. The disasters that are coming, the government knows about them. There's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now aren't.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable. I started getting...
People are saying it's a hoax.
I feel like why would he be crying? Why?
It sounds too...
And if he's an actor, then he's a great-ass actor, but it sounds too real, bro.
What got to me was the whole, him talking about disasters.
It's kind of what's going on right now.
Or that's been going on for a while, yeah. Either 2008, 2010, those were the years where a lot of UFO sightings were happening, bro. There was one that happened in Jerusalem. I don't know if you remember back then.
Another video from a different angle.
What?
Like doing the same thing.
It literally hovered down. Do you remember an Area?
Yeah, I just thought that if you don't know, you can find old episodes of that. That's so good. So good. Here we go.
The inside of Karnak Temple is the Temple of Ptah and Sekhmet. And this is a statue of Sekhmet.
Wow.
Sekhmet was the wife of Ptah.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to show you, somebody else took a photo.
Mm-hmm.
And something random appeared in the photograph.
Okay.
It's quite interesting. And keep in mind, this is Ptah and Sekhmet's temple. So
Okay,
this
so
is
what-
this is a photograph of the same statue.
That blurry person in front.
That blurry thing that showed up on the photo.
Is it there? Is it just?
No, this is not something that was actually physically in the room.
Wow.
This is somebody taking photos.
So that's not. That looks like a person walking in front of the camera.
That looks like Ptah, the wife of Sekhmet. Wow. And interesting, when I showed you the images before of Ptah and he's standing there with the Jed pillar, whenever you see the Jed pillar, he holds it about chest level, and if you look at about chest level, you see all that weird wavy stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like a vibration or frequency coming from that point.
Wow.
The inside of Karnak Temple is the Temple of Ptah.
I can't remember if I've shown this before. I've definitely seen it before. Not these two gentlemen talking about it. It's the Hard Yarn podcast. Okay, Hard Yarns podcast. But that's in a museum, and I feel like that statue is encased in glass. And is that just a reflection of another statue in the room? They say it's not. I don't know. I'm just trying to keep, Who knows? Who knows? All right, let's go.
The European Space Agency might have just showed us something they weren't supposed to. Since the US government conveniently shut down just days before the Mars flyby of 3I Atlas and told us they're not going to give us updates on it anymore, the good old ESA released this video just a few days after it flew by Mars, using their ExoMars trace gas orbiter. And just watch what happens when we zoom it in. No video enhancements applied whatsoever. Is anyone else seeing what I'm seeing? Surely this is just a photography lighting glitch, right? And like, where is China in all this? They do have an active orbiter around Mars, the Tianwen-1. Wouldn't this be just like the best opportunity for them to flex on us, showing us the clearest photos of 3I Atlas yet? But no, radio silence from the CNSA, China's National Space Administration. So they either somehow didn't take the photo on time, or they did, saw what it was, and didn't want to show anyone else. And still other online detectives pulled this image from NASA's official Mars Perseverance rover's online public library, dated Seoul 1643, October 4th, 2025, the exact time that 3I Atlas flew by. NASA, of course, hasn't commented on this yet, and some are saying it might just be Mars's moon Phobos caught in motion, which ironically is Greek for fear. The European Space Agency...
I don't know. I did that video Wednesday about all 3I Atlas stuff. That's all I covered. It's getting weird out here. There's a YouTuber that got a real clear photograph. I have clips of it on my past video. I also mentioned, could this be the project of blueness? Man, I don't know. Check it out. Do a little research. It's kind of fun. I enjoy it. Man. All right. Let's OJ.
Apparently, all of the shit that they've been hiding from us is coming out in 2025, whether they like it or not. What if I told you your DNA didn't start on Earth, and it may have came straight from outer space? Scientists just found proof of human DNA in a meteor that's over 2 billion years old. You heard what I just said? Human DNA in something that came from space. Now ask yourself, where the hell did we really come from? And before you think I'm going too far, let me explain. Scientists were studying this meteorite and found DNA molecules that exist inside of me and you. We're talking about adenine, guanine, cytosine, all of the ingredients that make life possible. And think about it. What if Earth wasn't the start of life? What if Earth was just a landing spot? Like, what if something out there threw a seed and that seed turned into us? What if we might actually be the aliens that we've been searching for? 2 billion years ago, this rock fell from the sky. Fast forward to now, we're talking, breathing, creating technology, making TikToks. All because of what? A space rock? Our DNA might literally be cosmic. Like we might have the universe inside of us. But peep this crazy shit. Scientists are saying that this could mean that life exists all over the galaxy because our DNA showed up in space. So what else is out there? So think, what else is out there that looks like us? What if other civilizations already evolved from the same building blocks, same codes, just a different planet? Drop an alien emoji if you think we came from the star. And if this blew your mind, follow for more, because this rabbit hole is way deeper than you think. I'm out. Apparently, all of the shit that they've been hiding from us is coming out in 2025, whether they like it or not.
Okay. We're all stardust, baby. I found this yesterday, and there's this whole new thread of, I guess they dropped this information yesterday. Crazy.
So nobody is talking about it.
I was just talking about our taxes. This information I got yesterday too. This is from a TikToker. He's going to show you a little something. I didn't know if this was legit. And then I found a real news article, since the government is shut down, about the IRS not being at work anymore. What's going on? What's really happening? Watch.
And that's because they don't want people to know. Y'all, the IRS just quietly closed its doors. And the only reason why I know about it is because my sister works there, and she called us to let us know that she just worked her last shift. She told me that they were supposed to stay open till around the 15th or until funding got sorted. Remember, Congress is trying to find a way to fund the government right now. But today, after her last shift, click, They locked the doors. So here I am scouring the internet to find some videos for you guys. I can't find one legit videos, no media coverage whatsoever. I just come across this one guy. He's an IRS agent who's helping his client file some taxes, and the surprise on his look when he came up to the building, find out they were closed, y'all, priceless. So something is going on out there that people don't want us to know, y'all. The IRS just shut down.
Good morning. Here's today's update from your Super Agent Logan. I'm down here at the IRS helping out one of my clients that needs some extra paperwork done, and we're having issues getting people on the phone. I know the IRS was open yesterday if you came down in person, but as of today, as of 5 a.m. this morning, the IRS is officially closed. So if you have any transactions...
I had to pause it for a minute because the music that's on there, my bad. Fair use. YouTube, reacting. Let's go.
That you're working with the IRS on, or if you have any personal things you're working with on the IRS, they are closed. So be patient as the government figures out what they're going to do and opens back up.
Now, I don't know what's going on out there, but all of these major hands of the government shutting down the same time that the government is shutting down and they can't figure out what's going on, y'all, something big is around the corner. And then I just found out that there's a lot going on in Washington, D.C. that people aren't speaking of as well. I'm going to come back and do another video on that. But did y'all know this, y'all? The shift is here. I've been telling y'all. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
I have some family members that happen to be military, government, whatnot. And they too are furloughed right now. It's such a weird word. Yeah, I know what the excuse is, but is that for real? Watch this.
So no.
The IRS furloughed more than 30,000 workers yesterday, which brought many of the agency's operations to a grinding halt. Despite delays, that October 15th deadline for Americans who got extensions on their 2024 taxes, well, that will still apply.
What Americans can expect is longer wait times, delays and changes to the tax code. The IRS will not be picking up the phone, and we are going to see some backlogs. Now, as you mentioned, one thing that's not impacted is the tax filing deadline of October 15th if anyone deferred their taxes and got an extension. But no doubt, this is just the latest example of how the government shutdown is really impacting Americans all across the country, not just here in D.C.
The IRS...
I just think it's crazy. They're like, oh, but you still got to do your stuff. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you real quick. This is going to be way too long video. I'm sorry. Thank you for sticking in there with me, y'all. Oh, yeah. I love you. There was a time in my life where one of the lowest points, I was addicted to pharmaceuticals, among other things, homeless even. And so there was a good block of time there where I didn't do my taxes. And then things got better. I got better. And I filed my taxes. And there were years that I owed money. And then there were years, because I've been a bartender for, and restaurant dude forever. And there were years they owed me money. Well, the years where they owed me money, they were like, sorry, it's been too long. But the years where I owed them money, which would be the very next year or the year previous, they'd be like, but you still owe us. What kind of double standard? I just love it. Okay, let's go. Good God.
Have you ever heard of Pine Gap?
What is Pine Gap?
Better known as the Australian Area 51.
Ooh.
I didn't know.
Everyone's got their own, I guess, right?
It is near Alice Springs. People have reported for a long time that around Pine Gap, there's a lot of UFO activity.
Interesting.
It's a joint effort between the United States and Australia. But basically, who runs Pine Gap is the CIA.
The American CIA.
American CIA. A lot of people report seeing strange lights in the sky, moving silently and rapidly. And then there's this one account in the 1970s where these Aboriginal trackers, they saw something crash and they went to observe it. They're in the bush, these Aboriginal trackers, and they found this smooth metallic sphere partially embedded in sand emitting a low hum or vibration. The object was reportedly cool to the touch despite being in the desert heat, about the size of a basketball, perfectly symmetrical, seamless, and impossible to open. One of the men picked it up but said it felt strangely heavy for its size and gave the sensation like it was pulling looking at his insides. The story also includes the orb started levitating slightly when placed on the ground. The men later approached the military personnel who confiscated it and warned them never to speak of it. One of the men became ill and disoriented afterward.
That's crazy. I think that's wild to me though. Like just how that works. Like especially if the CIA is involved. Like that's American agents and the stuff that must happen there. We think Area 51's a problem. Guess what? No Americans are doing anything about that. They're not sneaking in there.
Have you ever heard of Pine?
Shout out, Ninjas or Butterflies. If you watch my channel, you know I love Australia. The people, the land, the history. I don't know why. I just feel this strange kinship to the Down Under. I didn't know about the Pine Gap. And why is our government doing the man? And I know the little graphics there were all AI, but what they were describing, and it did look like in the AI thing, like the boogosphere that we've, recently been discovering and carbon dating to 12,500 years old. Wow. Yeah, let's keep this entertainment rolling.
A few weeks ago, allegedly,
this is
BlackRock
upsetting.
just bought 50,000 homes at $300,000 each, then sold 3 to themselves for $700K. Your neighbor's value just doubled overnight, and you can't afford to live there anymore. They're stealing the American dream because BlackRock step one, how they do this, they identify middle-class neighborhoods with growth potential, right? Step 2, they buy hundreds of homes in cash, 20 to 30% above asking price. Imagine being that guy putting your shit on listing and it's like, oh no, we'll buy it for 30% more. I ain't saying no to that. I'm out that neighborhood. Imagine the HOA screwing you over and you're like, peace. I'm out of here. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, peace. Step 3, regular families can't compete with unlimited corporate cash. Why? Because step 4, once they control enough inventory, they sell a few homes to shell companies that they already own. Step 5, those inflated sale prices become the new market rate. Step 6, your property taxes, and this is where it gets crazy. Your property taxes triple based on these fake sales. So the family that saved for 10 years to buy their first home, outbid by a corporation with infinite money. The elderly couple who owned their home for 40 years, forced out by property taxes they can't afford. Meanwhile, and this is where all the good money comes in for them, BlackRock rents these homes back to the same families they priced out. The rent is $2,500 monthly. The former mortgage payment would have been $1,800. They created the problem.
All right, real estate agents, question for you.
Man. That is the Truth Disorder podcast on TikTok there. All I have to say about that, first of all, entertainment. Second of all, 15-minute cities. Deep rabbit hole. I've done a little on it. It's nuts. Let's go.
I am not comfortable with this Comet Atlas.
I know.
And I
we've got Avi Loeb coming on to talk about it.
He's amazing. I had him on my podcast a long time ago. He put up with my ass.
A lot of people in the beginning were saying that it's bullshit. It's a comet. Why is he saying this? He's risking his reputation. But then as time's going on, they're going, "What? This is weird. This thing's really weird."
Well, okay. First of all, it's important to note that one thing that titillates my dumbass is it just so happens the government shutdown coincides with when we could use the satellites on Mars to get pictures of that fucking thing. So we're not getting pictures. They did release a picture of it yesterday.
Wait a minute. The government shutdown is stopping us from getting pictures of this thing?
Yes.
That's insane.
That's insane. Now, I am...
Insane. I just wanted to show that clip. I thought that was cool that Mr. JRE is going to have the Harvard professor on that's kind of surrounding around all the, the debates, whatnot, around the Atlas. What is it really? And if you do any research, you're going to find out that there's thousands of other things headed behind it, entertainment only. And how did I just now realize the music on that clip? That is Snowfall by One Heart and Radinishi. I'm just trying to make sure that no copyright. I'm reacting, YouTube. Okay, here we go.
China has changed its official policy to just sit back and watch the American government collapse on its own.
Do you feel like we're headed towards a decline as a country?
Absolutely, yes.
When do you think it'll start the uptick again?
Our problem is our defense budget. We spend more than $1 trillion a year on defense, and our roads are for and our bridges are falling into the rivers below them, and we should be ashamed at the state of our airports, and our hospitals are underfunded, and our schools are underfunded. But by God, we spend $1 trillion plus a year on weapons. And we've so inflated the national debt that we're only a few years away from a tipping point where we're just not going to be able to pay the interest on the debt.
Well, we can't now. We owe $37 trillion. We bring in $5 trillion into the treasury. We spend $7 trillion, and $1 trillion a year is just our interest debt on that $37 trillion.
Exactly. China has changed its official policy to just sit back and watch the American government collapse.
Yeah. I found this clip this morning, and these are things that I'm aware of, but you just don't think about it on the regular till somebody puts it all in front of your face, and you're just like, I love being defensive, you know. I'm glad we're protected by our defenses, and for sure we need to spend some type of revenue on doing it. But come on, man. How do you justify any of that? Let's go.
This is insane. AI-powered self-driving police cars are officially here. Miami just rolled out the first ever autonomous patrol vehicle in the United States, and it doesn't even need a cop behind the wheel.
Dude.
It's called the PUG, short for Police Unmanned Ground Patrol Partner, a Ford Explorer-based robot police cruiser built by Policing Lab and Perron Robotics. This thing can patrol high-crime areas, it can scan license plates, it can detect stolen cars, and even launch a drone into the sky, all while feeding real-time data back to command centers. It's packed with thermal imaging, 360-degree cameras, and an AI that can recognize patterns, identify suspicious activity, and alert human officers when backup is needed. Officials call it a force multiplier, designed to enhance officer safety and free deputies from repetitive patrol work so that they can focus on human interaction. Now, for now, it's part of a one-year pilot program in Miami-Dade, where it'll appear at public events as police gather community feedback. Now, some see this as the future of law enforcement, others as a step toward sort of RoboCop territory. But one thing is for sure, Miami's newest recruit doesn't eat donuts, doesn't take breaks, and never blinks. The age of AI policing has officially begun. This is insane.
Okay. RoboCop, Terminator. I just watched Elysium a couple nights ago. I was trying to fall asleep, so I put on something I'd seen a couple times. There's a scene there where he gets questioned by some AI robot cops who are super intimidating, by the way. Super strong. They have weapons. They actually break his arm in the scene. And it's because he makes a joke. They ask him what's in his bag, and he said, oh, nothing but hair products, because he's a shaven head Matt Damon. One of my favorite roles he plays, too, because he's like tattooed. He's a criminal. He's on parole, stuff. Well, the robot can't take a joke. So he gets a fine, or however they do it there in the future in this movie. And he's got to go into his parole officer, which is like just a robot head. Man, if you haven't seen that movie, it's worth a watch. Rather entertaining. Yeah, let's go.
3I Atlas passed Mars yesterday, exactly when an ancient Sumerian map said it would. At 4 a.m. UTC, 3I Atlas made its closest approach to any planet so far in our solar system, 18 million miles from Mars. Multiple space agencies, including NASA and the European Space Agency, are coordinating observations using various spacecraft and orbiters around Mars. They want to know where it's going next, and if its course has changed further. 3,000 years ago, the Sumerians carved a star chart showing a dark object from Sagittarius brushing past Mars and turning inward. Many experts agree that the ancient map is a signal left by the gods, so humans would know when to look up and when to expect the gods' return. Yesterday, that same map was at the forefront of every astrological conversation around the world. Not only did the Sumerians perfectly chart the skies, but they did so knowing where the planets and stars would align today. How is this possible? 3I Atlas.
I can't avoid the 3I Atlas thing. I found that this morning. And I was like, first of all, I don't know if that's real. I know the Sumerians did, chart the stars and whatnot. I don't know if that aspect is real. Entertainment. Do a little research. It's fun. This world we're living in. Whoa.
Money is debt. School.
Okay, this is the last one. I saw this. Take this with a grain of salt. But it's 13 seconds long. I thought it was pretty interesting. Listen to this, gentleman.
Money is debt. School makes you stupid. Half of what we call medicine is drugs, and half of what we call drugs is medicine. Religion makes you ignorant of true spirituality. Possession is an idea. Power is a concept, and we are all God. Money is debt.
Whoa. Okay, we did it. Yeah, we did it. We're at like 45 minutes. I was hoping it was going to be quicker than that, but we got it done. Thank you. Once again. If you've made it to the end, thank you so very much. I'm going to go ahead and prepare my exit here. I like to play the music that I started with. Before I go, I like to share what I deem is necessary, at least in my life. And if I can give you the knowledge and the love, well, then I'm dictating my day. It's Friday. I hope the weekend's going to be amazing for you. Remember to share your knowledge and spread your love. Flip it around even. It will help. I promise. I say it every time. I heard a quote about don't feed your problems with thoughts, starve them with action. And that's basically what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Just get in there. The smallest win will assist you. Just because it's the weekend for some of us, it could be a bad day for someone else. So you know what? I'm with you, brothers and sisters. I'm with you. But Dick, it's got to dip. I'm going to see y'all on the flip. I love you. Thank you very much for checking out the video today. I will see y'all on Monday. Yeah. I'm excited. I can't wait to visit again. You know what I mean? Let me prepare my outro here. Thank you. I love you. Friday. Let's go. Let's Osh. See you soon, everybody.